waiting to see how many people come in, if anyone. Hey, Mickey Flynn, how are you? Good morning, Connie. Hi, Joe. Hey, trucking girl. So, tell Richard I said hi. Brenda, but so I'm trying to digest. I've got a lot of people that know. Thank you, Vicky. I want to clarify a few things from yesterday. I may have been duped. I don't know. And when folks were asking me to go back over there, and the Convoy needed me, and it's not like I was having a big ego or anything like that. I started seeing the change towards the end of when we left Hagerstown the first time. And I want to make it clear that hold on. Okay. What I know this for a fact. The owners of the Speedway, they don't do contracts. There's verbal agreements, especially with given a couple of the organizers are actually friends with them. And they do a bill invoice pay deal. All right. So for the cutting out, I am in a place where I'm constantly having data up, data down. Doesn't seem to matter what I do. So I apologize in advance. I'm just going to take advantage of it while I have it. All right. This isn't going to be a long one. I'm just going to try and do a clarification. I entered into the Convoy, because to me it's the right thing to do to gain the support of the movement of the people of the United States. Doing a trucker shutdown would have been a negatively impacting arrangement. People are going to be looking at their store shelves. If you could be successful in a shutdown, they would be looking at their store shelves and going, the truckers did this, and so on and so forth. The 150K that I spoke to last night was the increase in the funding amount as seen on the website between Hagerstown and Sacramento. I don't even know where the summation came from. There's been a lot of things said. A lot of people that were there and witnessed know the truth. The words. It wasn't 150,000 that was for the it was rented, Rev. Okay? What I know is that the convoy, meaning Marcus, I'm saying the organizers, I should say. I know Blondie. And they're going to do what they do, okay? That's all I can say. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that these were people that I had a fair amount of respect for, actually. And I watched the streams last night. So, Cheryl, there is always an audit when it comes to this stuff. It's going to happen. And what happens in these things is that everybody always goes off and it's the very first thing that occurs anytime there's something like this. The very first thing that happens is always something about the money. I stood with the crooks. I never stood with the crooks. My anger when I was mobbed, it really looked to me like I was standing at the castle of Dr. Frankenstein, and they were coming with the pitchforks and the fire. So there is issues with leadership. The issues of what I saw personally with my own eyes was being extremely bloated. Extremely bloated. I was on the bus to see confusion, tears, what can we do? The guilt for taking a little bit of time for themselves. I saw heart. And I felt yesterday that the attack, and I will call it that, it was an attack, was wrong. And so at that very moment when I said I'm standing with them, it had nothing to do with even 5 hours. 5 hours prior. It didn't, even months prior, nothing in my mind had to do with anything in the history. It had to do with that moment in time. And in that moment in time, they were under attack. And I said, I'm standing here for them. So, and everybody starts talking about accountability. Anybody with half a frickin' brain can figure this out, okay? All you gotta do is pick up a calculator and go to the 87 days and go back and look at the prices for things, okay? But our Rev, to talk about this 15,000 versus the 150,000 thing. The 150,000 was, if you looked at arrived in Hagerstown, you saw it go, the cumulative number. It's always what it was reported to was a cumulative number on the website. It wasn't a balance sheet. It was a cumulative, this is how much was raised in the donate button to that moment. And when we left Hagerstown, it was at 1.7-ish. And as we got to Sacramento, it had gone up around 150K. And my point was that it's not like it went up to 10 million. That was my point. Again, context is everything. I was trying to say it only went up 150,000. before we even left Hagerstown the first time. It only went up 150K between then and yesterday. That was my point. Okay, who is this IB4? Who is this IB4123? I don't know who you are, but obviously you're wanting me to clarify things that should have been talked about. I have a feeling I think I know who you are, but the fact of the matter is this. Right. All right. All right, I think I'm just going to ignore a lot of that. I wasn't trying to burn any bridges. I was there for my heart, for me. If he keeps doing that, yeah. I think that there was a lot of people. I mean, look, I have not been in any decision-making processes. I am not an organizer. I was in 0 decision-making processes from day one. And yesterday, I was in the bus making sure that some words were utilized, basically, in a release. And to bring clarification on whether or not the entire thing was over, or if there was a continuation, or if there was support of growth of what was brought to bear in the form of the movement of the people, i.e. myself. The $15,000 was brought up by Santa, not by the organizers. Okay. I wasn't in the convoy at that time, but I have heard of what was stated and what was asked for was that a place was secured and that it needed 15,000. Did we what? Oh, rabbit. Okay, I see that rabbit. So, the money in the box. I've heard a lot about the money in the box. There was, in Hagerstown the first time, there was money in the box. Okay? Money in the box was because the organization, the nonprofit organization, is so tight to get immediacy out of that a petty cash. You know, what would happen if you go to fuel the convoy and the card doesn't work? So a petty cash is drawn, and receipts, just like if you're on an expense account with a company, you have to do an expense report. Okay, and when you do the expense report, any receipts that are out of line are simply not covered, and you don't get that money because it's outside of what was asked for. And so from what individuals told me about, or what I saw, okay, nobody can really say how much money was there. Somebody said 25 grand. You know what? That's speculation. Nobody at all knows the number. I don't know the number. And all I know is that receipts, starting from day one in Hagerstown, all the receipt payouts for people turning in receipts for their fuels and so on were paid out of that petty cash box, okay? And that there was a reserve of that petty cash box. They had gone to the actual 501c3, to the taken draws, and they had taken draws to be able to have that petty cash in case they needed cash on hand. In every company I've ever been in my entire life had a petty cash system, okay? Was it wise to keep it in a box? I don't know. I mean, I probably would have had a portable safe or something. I mean, but Sasnak put, I think I heard him say to me that he had somewhere around $2,600. There was some, I don't know the exact number. I just know that there was money that Sasnak was putting in. There were times along the way where I would go and buy everybody, because we weren't able to set up the kitchen or anything, and I didn't want to see anybody go hungry, and I bought dinner and breakfast. There was times where I would put 20, 50, whatever I had. Somebody would come and give me a donation, and I would turn around and put it in a box while I was getting ice cream or something like that. And I never kept count of that. There's some individuals over the last few days that said, they didn't have enough to go get gas and to head home, and I'd take money out of my pocket and hand it to them and say, here, So this is where people don't get the context of what happened there and why I was so upset last night, because there was a good, I think people are way overblowing this money thing. And because everything had to be paid for. There was only one donation when we left Adelanto. One. 25,000 gallons, and that was in Arizona of fuel. Everything else had to be paid for. Every porta potty, every trash dumpster, every venue, every one of them had to be paid for. Howard, I'm just going to make one comment to that. You're interpreting him as not telling the truth simply because he didn't go watch the individual's feed. Do you know that the individual wasn't expanding on or leaving something out? You don't know that. So I'm just saying, you shouldn't be making a statement like that because you don't know what the truth is. And I know that Stan says to me a lot and has said this. There's always this and there's always that, and the truth will be in the middle. And that's a statement that he says all the time. And I believe him on that. I believe him. He's a great guy. I have no problems with him. I would like to be able to call him my friend. And I think I am. I'm sure that we're not, I'm pretty sure we're not close enough to be, hanging out all the time, but certainly, I have no problems with him at all. So, and the people are calling me a traitor. What did I do? What did I do differently from what I've said I was going to do? Simply because I have said that I wouldn't go into D.C., and I have actually received warnings not to go into D.C., by the way. My comments about Proud Boys. Let me first and foremost say I think that they're a very patriotic group. I disagree with some of their their practices, i.e. not allowing women, their chauvinistic system. Okay, I don't agree with that part. Are they patriots? Yeah, absolutely. I actually considered joining the group 3 years ago. I didn't, but I did look into it. I did look into 3%ers. I did look into Proud Boys. I looked into all of them, and I settled in on becoming an oath keeper myself. So they are patriotic groups. Do I think that it's bad that Santa is a Proud Boy? I don't think it's bad that he's a Proud Boy, and I've never said that. But what I'm saying is organizations like Proud Boys, 3%ers, and Oath Keepers are by the left considered to be like what the right considers Antifa or BLM. So I'll try and figure out how to do this. So, well, all you got to do is go back to the streams. He was swearing. I'll tell you which one you can go back to. Okay. To answer the question on whether I know he's a Proud Boy or not, one, because Santa did tell me he was a Proud Boy. He told his brothers. Okay. All you got to do is go back to when we retired the first flag that was on Santa's truck in Hagerstown. The G's did a nice film of that. And all you got to do is you see the Proud Boy flag on the back of his truck, and you see him wearing a Proud Boy shirt. So that's it. So with respect, clarification is all people want. That's correct. But why is it so intent? All right, look, I have said for more than a week that the convoy had to come to an end. What is the convoy? In a trucker's terminology, is movement of the trucking. It is a movement of trucks or vehicles, all right? If it's not moving, it's no longer a convoy. They're expensive to operate, extremely, especially in today's world. So anyway, look, I'm going to try and not get caught up in the trolls that are in there. My component was to try to establish an ending of the convoy, in my mind, with the organizers of TPC, and a continuation, a transfer or a transformation, or I'm so out of it at the moment, I'm trying to recoup, but a transition from the rolling convoy to a support of what was born from the convoy, which is the movement, and none of the logistics was communicated, or how that's all going to work. It's just the statement that this ends and this continues, okay? The rolling side of it ends and the movement continues and grows. Ultimately, we're all in this for the same thing. The government, the illegitimate government, needs to be for the people, and right now it's not. It's not. What? See, here they come. Here they come. The trolls are going to be in here. And apparently I don't have enough mods up. Okay. And there's some names that I recognize from other streams that's all they do is go out and create this stuff. All right. Thank you, Kathleen. I'm trying to do that. I believe in the movement, and I believe in freedom, and I believe that, and I've said this for, a lot of these people that are in this stream right now have never followed me before, have never been here and heard one of my, other than, pieces that other trolls have taken and manipulated, or not, take the context out and put it out and say, Graywolf said this, or Graywolf said that. Those that speak to me face to face or have had time with me know the truth. There are also people that never heard what I spoke about. No, some of them are angry, okay? And they're angry, and they're in their anger. They're doing some of what I did yesterday, being disrespectful. And a lot of my anger and blow up yesterday was disrespectful to some people. And I'm human. I have errors in my way as well. I felt last night betrayed by a lot of individuals. I kept thinking about those people. And Bonnie, you're right. Proud Boys are proud Americans. And I'll tell you what, that's not the point. That's not the point. And that's why people are smashing me about saying, hey, hey, Shay, thank you. That's why I'm looking at this and saying, wait, it's not that a person is a proud boy. It is that the optics of having Proud Boys backing what was supposed to be a movement that was a people's movement, or leading the charge, puts a lot of eyeballs on that movement, and a lot of it is just excuse. Okay, a lot of it is just excuse, a government excuse to say they're coming to have an insurrection. I mean, that's kind of their take. And I'll say right now, for the record, I know that Proud Boys are defenders. I have seen Proud Boys in action. I wouldn't feel bad about having them right next to me on a fight in a heartbeat. Okay? They are defenders. But I also know that a lot of them get heated. Not all, but some. Some of them get super, super heated. And they don't know when to back down. When there's an opportunity or a point where they actually should back down. And there's some of that. But overall, they are a patriotic, from the heart group. Like I said, I have disagreements, which is why I did not join the group 3 years ago when I looked at them. And that's my choice. Isn't that what this was about? Well, good riddance, Howard. How are you?
Good. Would you entertain a live audience while you're doing your stream? Because I was out there. A live audience while you stream, because I was out there in the truck watching.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You want to be on?
I don't care. I just instead of watching a live stream, I'm watching the live stream.
Oh well,
person,
squeeze in. Squeeze in.
I just
So, just so you guys know, I mean, you're okay, right? So I am.
Mud Pig's on his way up.
Mud Pig's on his way up here.
He was thinking about it, wanted to know if we were staying put.
Okay.
Okay, and I said, I'm pretty sure we are.
I just sent here. I'm taking today and tomorrow, and then Monday I'll do what I need to do.
have to go over there. My truck went into the rate this morning. I actually shut it off. Hey y'all.
So, anyway, so I wanted to make sure that everybody had a basic understanding of where.
That's why I wanted to come in and I was watching. They can hear me.
Okay.
All right. I was watching your live stream out in the truck.
Okay.
I watched Mud Pigs this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm still trying to come up with my own assessment. I am so confused, I don't know what to do right now. So I'm going into trucker mode.
Yeah. And that's really where I am at the moment.
So, but basically, like I say, I was out there watching your live stream, and I'm going to mute this down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can read the comments myself on your live stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's. I mean, it's.
There's a lot of hate,
There
and
is.
there's a lot of individuals that are in there that are just stirring the shit.
There are.
Yeah. And I can see that.
And I wanted to come in here, and I wanted to make it publicly known. I'm not following anybody anymore.
Right.
Okay. I still love and respect Sam.
Yeah.
I still love and respect Marcus. I still love and respect Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if it wasn't for
Never got this.
movement, would have never gone.
You're absolutely right.
Okay. I still believe in the core values.
Yep.
What the People's Convoy stood for.
Yep. The movement.
And that's what I'm going to like. So
Yeah.
core values.
Yep. And I couldn't say it better myself, man.
Okay. I haven't gone live yet.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the four of us could sit down, all four of us do a live stream.
I like
We're
it.
individuals,
Yes.
and take questions from everybody.
Not a bad idea.
Okay? Because then we're reaching everybody that reads. You may not have people that follow you. You may not have
Exactly.
people that follow
Exactly.
me. And you know.
Yeah.
What do you think, people? Okay.
They're talking to. What's that? Missed one. I guess I should put mine up here so I can read the comments.
That's why I use this one.
Yeah. See, I wasn't doing anything with that. And take that.
Okay, I'm getting a bunch of yes, good, yes.
There we are.
And
now I can see my.
I
Now
know-
I can see my chat.
I know Mud Pig. He just called me. That's
Do it. Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
He's gonna come business. I told him to send me a text when he's on his way.
Beautiful. It'd be good to see him too. I understand. I saw somebody Staying that
He's
he's
talking
not
about
in his truck or something.
No, he was in his pickup.
He's in his pickup. Yeah.
Okay, they went out to the park, sat next to the creek, to the live stream.
That's a good way to unplug.
Creek flowing, just having a little snack sitting next to the river, because that's what piggies do.
Roll in the mud too. I don't think he might have done any of that.
And I'll give you a heads up. Kate is inviting us down for lunch tomorrow at their place.
Oh. At Medpace. That's a cool thing. Yeah. I like that idea, actually. That's a pretty good idea.
Buy those, get
That's good. I Grey Wolf and Blinky. So, yeah, so I mean, as you can see, what I was trying to do is to clarify some things. And the clarifications on my take, and there seems to be a lot of question about money. Now I mean, when I first got to Hagerstown, I was fielding those questions of where's the money. And I've told people, money, and you're not thinking for 5 to do this. Are you really in for what's going on with the mission? Okay. And so the
I just reading what Jen wrote.
yeah, I missed it. It's,
What'd
she say?
Instead of 5. Bumped up the sub for 10 minutes to 5. Or from 5 to 10.
5 to 10. Oh yeah.
It keeps the trolls out.
Keeps the trolls that just go jump. Good idea. So with the money side of things, just to kind of bring it to a complete wrap. I understand I went through and was looking at some of the live streams last night before I went to bed.
What time do you end up going to sleep last night?
About 1:30, somewhere after 1:30.
We didn't get in here until damn near 1.
Yeah, well, it was somewhere near 2 then, because I was laying there. I didn't really look at the time. I just was I was sitting there with the iPad. I mean, just looking through the live streams and was like, wow. I didn't say it that way. You know, what the representation of what I was being said. I didn't say it that way, and I certainly didn't mean it that way, kind of thing. Like there was one comment about me saying that I witnessed $150,000 being received. I never witnessed 150, but the comment I made about the 150 was, and I did make a comment about the 150,000.
Okay.
And that comment was that when we left Hagerstown, on the TPC website, 1.7 million. When we got to Sacramento, 1.8 and some change around 4.8, 1.48. So I was rounding it up to 150K. So that was the 150K reference point, right? But somebody took it as I witnessed 150K. Joe.
See the blue one, right?
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about when we got into Sacramento.
That's
Right?
as of right now.
That's as of right now.
Well, yesterday, because I didn't update
Right,
it this morning.
right. Well, because
I
it
updated
would
it
go
yet.
away if you did. Yeah.
No, I
if you-
updated it yesterday right before
Right.
the meeting.
But if you just took our first 2 days.
Can I
Yeah.
just jump ahead? 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday morning, Marcus walked up with an envelope that said, "This is the receipts from 15 days,
Yeah,
105,000 in cash payouts."
yeah. And that's my whole point.
Okay.
For 15 days in cash payouts, that doesn't even count venues.
What I've tried to explain to people, I skipped 2 fuel runs on the way out here
Right.
for one reason or another. One, I couldn't fit underneath the canopy with a 14-foot tall flagpole.
Right.
Okay. The second one I missed because it's when I picked up the ambulance and I missed the fueling in Cheyenne. when I got to Sapp Brothers in Nebraska, it was over $1,000 to fill my truck alone.
I didn't go on the fueling the other day. I fueled out of my pocket, and it was $6.22 a gallon, and I was near empty, and it cost me over $1,200.
It just
So this is what people don't get.
Right.
This is what they don't see, Tom. They
I
you know, they're oh man, the money. If there was $4, $5 a gallon for fuel, and you had at the point trucks, right? And what if? Let me do that number real quick. Let's do it this way, right?
Time series 12. Okay.
Look, if we do just an average $5 per gallon, and you figure that each truck, when it was fueling, was
50 to 60 gallons is what my truck took.
I was
every
brought
day.
that, yeah, 70. No, just say 60. It's a good
Okay.
round number, right? That would be 300 times 300 trucks. That's 90 grand. And
Just
that
in
doesn't-
trucks
Just
alone.
in the trucks. That
Okay.
doesn't even count the cars.
And if there's 300 trucks, that means there's 3 times as many cars at least.
Exactly.
When there was
Exactly.
500 trucks, there was 1,500 cars.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Now the venues, the first time there was $17,500 a week times three.
A week?
A week times 3 weeks was $52,500. The porta potties, that get you on the pump outs,
Right.
there were between $5,000 and $7,000 for every time they came out and pumped them out.
And they pumped them every day.
Damn near every day.
They pumped them every morning.
A couple of mornings they didn't do it, and I went over and I said, well, we got to have a pumping because we're getting kind of tall. And so, you know, people don't realize that. We had 4 potties, I think, in Sacramento, and they weren't coming around and doing it.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they weren't coming around and doing it, so Mrs. G called them, said, you didn't dump it. Yeah, we did. We did this much. So, you want me to take the video camera in there? Because we got truck drivers that are going in there with sticks and moving it around so that they've got a spot to be able to do it. I mean, they're taking it on themselves to go do the shitty work, all right? And so as a result, they said, well, we can come out and do it again, but it's going to cost you $400.
Can I make a comment on Terminator there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Terminator, I didn't lose a dime. Okay, I just wasn't making any money.
Right, no positive increase.
Right.
Zero positive and on the increase.
No, he didn't say it to me, Peg. Okay, it was a broad statement that he made in public as we were sitting there down for breakfast. Okay, there must have been probably 20 of us sitting there, and he said it down. Peg said, "Why did you say it to me?" Okay, no, it was a broad statement. I happened to be sitting there and overheard Marcus say in receipts for the last 15 days.
You know what? When we were in Hagerstown the first time, and I was up in there when Chris was going through and counting, looking at all the receipts and everything, people were turning in receipts. 2 of them myself. There was a pile of receipts that came in the bag that had come through the info tent from Hippie Mama's tent, and they were handed to Chris, and Chris was going through them, and she went through and started looking at them. And there was over $1,200 worth of receipts. All right. And she's like, that's not fuel. Well, hell, that's a sleeping bag at Walmart. Right? She started going through them all. And she got down to where there was fuel receipts for $150.
Somebody went to your channel.
You can tell.
Oh,
What your YouTube channel
she's
is?
camera shy. It's Tommy Trucker Little Blinky on YouTube. I'm just not live right now.
Right. So there was $150 in fuel receipts.
Right.
Out of $1,200. So she put the $150 in, she declined the remainder, she put it in the baggie, wrote it all up, wrote out the receipt, and sent it back. Okay?
Thanks, Kimberly. Hey, Reverend Kelly Lee. Lisa, the track owner. From what I heard from the officers out there, Lisa, the track owner, called the cops.
Yes.
He actually called the cops last night.
After, you got to look at the points that occurred. What occurred was, I have no clue. Was I duped? I don't know. All I know is, for a week I've been getting these calls prior to going. And even Marcus had stated that he was just hitting the ignore button when the phone was ringing, right? So I guess they were going through and calling anybody that they had a number for. They were calling me. And I know for a fact that I didn't get all of the information, but I got enough to where it was like, whoa, let's open these eyes. And it was like, okay, I need to get some time to be able to get to an organizer and let them know that they got to make a phone call. Now, I felt that was the right thing to do anyway. So I took it to, I didn't have to give her the phone number. So she went to make the contact. Then went and make the call. She spent the 45 minutes or close to an hour. And when I saw her, and it was seriousness in her tone, I said, we got to go and we got to write something.
I was privy to that conversation after the fact.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a firm believer in not talking negative about anybody.
Yeah. Whites of their eyes.
Whites of their eyes. Okay. Trucker G said, when I see the whites of your eyes.
Exactly.
I want to know why all these people are on here criticizing what went down.
Mm-hmm.
And no, let me rephrase that. Those able-bodied people, why are they on here criticizing what went down if they weren't there to witness it?
Exactly. They saw the camera point of view only. They heard
saw
the anger.
Everybody was waiting for the big one.
Yeah.
In a race.
That's right. That's right. And the thing of it was, is I was, and I heard a comment made last night on one of the streams that was while I was there, and it's kind of the one that was like, I think I'm just going to go and shut this off because I'm not going to go to bed. I'm not going to get any sleep at all. And that is that I said on my stream coming out here that I saved people's lives. I never said that. But then it was repeated by the streamer.
Telephone bit.
Right? Plain telephone, right? I will hold in my heart that I helped save people. I didn't say save people's lives. Save people from jail time. Save people from losing their vehicles. Whatever the case might be. I also clarified, and you know this, that the big question is if.
Yeah.
If, right?
It's the biggest two-letter word out there.
It's the biggest one out there, that if you go down to DC and there's no commotion, everything's gonna be fine. And using Big D's words, right? But if something happens, and if the callers that got the attention of Chris, myself, Marcus, were truthful in their statements of a conversation in Indiana that said about overthrowing the government. Okay. Now, I wasn't there, but I'm just saying what I heard. And the government taking that as a threat. Then things can go south in a huge hurry, and you have J6. Two-lettered word of if. So, I thought that the best way was to, well, not I, we, and inclusion, I mean, I brought in a few, but I thought it was well covered. It was just the timing of it all. It had to be done kind of quick since they were lining up and no one knew if they were going to go out. And when I say they, I'm talking about they down in that district, if they were going to go or not.
I'll be honest, I didn't know if I was going until roughly an hour.
And I always told people, what's your heart tell you? If your heart tells you to go, then go. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't do anything stupid. Okay? I'm not going.
Exactly.
I
remember
my
you
truck
telling me
has
that.
a huge target on it already. And oh, by the way, I haven't paid the ticket that they sent me. So it's going to get me in I'll be the first truck towed. Whether I've done anything wrong or not. So, yeah, but again, context, people don't know this kind of thing, right? But also my belief that there wasn't nearly enough people to go down there and make any sort of difference. And I've always said that the movement needed to grow. And if you had a 500 truck count going down in there, you would see that truck, ticket or no ticket, leading the charge. But again, people twist it as, well, then you're not a patriot, you're a coward. You're not really for freedom, you're a coward. Well, any battle has, you don't go all in at that moment and say, we're going to win this battle with everything you got on the first day. You strategize and you plan and you put together waves to just simply raise the flag and say, charge, and consider it a Braveheart type moment. In today's environment, without the numbers and thinking that, well, once you're down there, the numbers will come in and support us. To me, that is not the way that this should happen. We lost that opportunity the first time we got here. We should have done it. We should have gone down there then. Well, not even necessarily in the district. As I said yesterday, we could stay out of that 100 square miles, and we could have blocked every on-ramp and every exit on the 495 Beltway. And we didn't even have to have a camp out. All we had to do was be there for 6, 10, 12 hours, locking it all down. And we would have got everybody that was on those bridges and everybody who gave us the hugs and the tears and the messages to deliver to DC would have come running. A lot of them wouldn't. They're probably sitting there going, this is the greatest soap opera. There's some of them are going to do that. But a lot of them would say, you know what? They did it. Let's go support them. When we didn't do that, we lost our opportunity.
Amber, Tommy Trucker, Little Blinky.
And so when that opportunity was lost, people started losing faith in our convoy. And you know when I knew that was when we left Hagerstown. Well, first and foremost, when I saw the depreciation in Hagerstown before we even left. And I went up to the bus, and I went up in the bus, and I said, you know what? When we went to the back 40, to make room.
That was, I fully disclosed, I left before everybody else did. Okay, I was broke. I had to go make some money.
It was like the people that got in my face yesterday, I did take it personal when they pointed at me. One guy come in and pointed at me and said, where's my $500? And I'm looking at this guy who's beet-faced red-faced at me, pointing and screaming at me, where's my $500? And I said, I want my $500. I'm like, who the hell are you? And he says, I gave $500 to this, to the convoy. And I went, I'm not. He said, and then I think it was Tom or somebody else said, one of the other individuals that was there said, he's a driver. Oh, I thought he was Marcus. Where the hell did that come from?
Marcus is much uglier.
And he was much more astounding than me, right? So
Yes.
So I said, dude, we all sacrificed. We know that 2 truckers, one of them got his truck totaled. Totaled. The 2 in the accidents, one was totaled and the other one could be repaired.
Right.
But it was still off the road for quite a while.
Right.
But the other one was completely totaled. And so it was like, okay, what about those guys? What was their sacrifice? Okay, I was asked to give up my portion of a brokerage company. I agreed to do so. So I'm out of my company. My other company, I'm down to just me, and I've got all my trailers were taken, so I don't have a trailer to pull. Oh, I had no sacrifices? Give me a break. You don't know nothing about me. Okay, so they started screaming about the money they donated, and they wanted it back. And I was looking at them, and I took it personally. So I started yelling back at them. I said, don't be pointing at me and telling me that I took the Convoy money, because I will come unglued on you. If you think that I had my hand in the till, I didn't even have a decision until a word yesterday in this process. A single word is my take and what I gave to the process. Do I believe that the disconnect had to happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been saying that for a long time, that the convoy needed to end, and where the convoy gave birth to the movement needs to. And when it gets to 3 million people, for instance,
In one location.
in a singular location, that, okay, if you got, and I've said this, one truck, it's still the People's Convoy, okay? But I would convert it. Well, I'm not even going to say that, because that's going to get twisted because of copyright or whatever. But it's still the American people's movement, okay?
And I truly believe that Santa, once again,
I mean, they're really
his
seriously
heart
on
is
that
in
part.
the right place.
Yeah.
He and his organizers will come up with a name for that movement.
And I'm, like you said, and I said yesterday, I don't have a problem with Santa. I think his heart is in the wrong place. I have a problem with his tactics. With what Santa is, I think he's a beautiful human being. I seriously do. And is causing excitement in the district.
Yes.
Okay? And that was what I was trying to explain yesterday. The affiliation is excitement within of going to DC, and again, I didn't hear it myself. It was just what I was told that was said. That going into DC, we're going to take this into DC and we're going to overthrow the government. Boom! Boom! You just blew the whole frickin' thing apart because of the affiliation and association with a group of individuals who are patriots in their own right, but are on a under a microscope by that district. And that was my point.
00. Mind where you want to be in whatever movement you want to be part of.
Right.
Okay? I'm not asking anybody to follow me. Okay? I know where my heart lies.
Right.
And I know if I can hear of a state rally going on somewhere with notice, and they ask me to come out there, just like they've done with other organizers in other rallies, I will gladly go in there with my horns blaring.
Yeah. I'll tell you what my idea going forward, before the blow up yesterday, my idea going forward was to take recognizable drivers.
Mm-hmm.
You, me, Mud Pig, Sasnak, G, and coordinate with the states.
Even some of the ones that were there in Hagerstown.
Oh, absolutely. I'm saying,
okay,
at least.
We had.
Let me add that word, at least.
Right.
The recognizable ones who have time on their hands. And when we have a schedule output, we know what state is doing what on what day, that we go in and have like a tour.
Yeah.
Okay? Where there we are. Here's the movement call. Here's the messaging. Here's what we want to do. That's it. And that brings up into the movement. But as I said in the bus yesterday when everyone was sitting and putting into this, I said, I just want to see a transitional, okay? There needs to be a transition from Convoy. And within that, it doesn't mean that organizers are going to be in charge of this, but there needs to be a national body to help with the states. The states are doing their thing. The national embodiment of a movement now becomes the connective tissue of a people count growth, not a tires on the ground count growth. And so, and I thought that message was written in order to facilitate growth. But it was so far blown out of proportion. I mean, seriously, people could have looked at that and said, and this is where I go against what Santa did. When he was shown, I mean, he wasn't even in there. I don't even think enough to hear the whole thing. I don't even know if that time was more than a few minutes. He came out, ripped the People's Convoy off his bumper, and drove.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and I was standing back up by my truck and saw it from afar, but I did see that, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what? From that would have been, okay, let me go out here and we'll talk to these people and say, look, we are still going to do this. No one's stopping anybody. Do it in the name of, which could still do it in the name of freedom, right?
Let's face it, okay, pride and
ego
emotions. Ego got in the way yesterday.
You damn right. And everybody thought, well, that was why, I think I would have expanded on the day count. If there's a verbal agreement to take it out for a month, the 7 days, I think, is just because the organizers are tired and they want to get home.
The organizers, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
They wanted to get their personal.
Right. I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm just I'm just kind of summation on that and saying I think that the 7 days may have been extendable. I think it could have been even extended.
When the officer was standing next to the bus yesterday and told us we were being evicted, had to be out at 10 o'clock.
By 10, yeah.
Okay. I went into survival. Okay. I had to get my personal belongings in order to be out of there. And we rolled out of that gate at 9:59.
Yeah.
I looked at the clock as we were rolling out.
Yeah.
It took me that long. And it was just me and my personal...
No, I know that. And Tom been getting ready and
you and Tom came over to assist in me in the final,
we did that a hasty but as best we could retrieval of the flag.
People were asking whose car that. I have a lady friend with me.
Right.
She can't drive at night.
Right.
That's why we loaded up her car.
The intriguing part for me was here's a couple at night, and they're coming to me and saying, what are they going to do? And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Everybody else that had come to me when they started coming. Some of the people actually had come back from
Peacefully,
yeah.
okay,
They
gather their belongings.
Well, some of them came back because they decided once they went and heard the other side, they'd heard Santa, I guess, that they'd gone there, and they came back, and they came to me, and a few of them were pretty emotional, and said, "Scared, I don't know what to do." And I looked at them and said, "Get in your car and leave right now. If you're scared, you need to leave." And but I don't have any money for gas.
On that topic, did you see Brian's post on Facebook this morning?
No.
You mind me saying some positive?
Sure.
Brian said that he was trying, if you're coming through Ohio, get in touch with him. He's trying to organize to get people home.
Right. There was talk.
Brian posted that on his Facebook page.
A shout out to Brian Brazzi for, I didn't see it myself, but thank you. And see, that was the thing I was trying to figure out. And how do you take the people that are there that don't have the gas to be able to get home? Well, there's still some trickle down that's still going into that donated account, into that organization, right? At the particular clearing point, if you will, I wouldn't have been able to make the call because I'm not one of the organizers, but to be able to say, I don't think it would have been wrong, let me put it that way, to be able to say, right, who has, how much current gas price, okay, and this is how much your vehicle is going to need, here's for your gas.
There's another one for a meal or two.
Exactly.
It's post.
What's that?
That's fine, it's post. I brought it
Oh.
up on Facebook.
So the $15,000, I don't know any personal to it. I only know that the $15K, what I was told, and you would know better than I because you were in the convoy up there, that Santa came over the CB and asked
all of us live stream. Okay, which I just turned the CB up and he blasted it on my live stream.
Okay, so it wasn't Marcus asking for that money, right? It was Santa asking for the money. Santa was doing negotiations.
But we also put it out to donate to the People's Convoy.
With a note of.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they can do that, but that to go out and put some in the donation, I had problems with it, but in the link, but they fixed that. I don't know if there was a way to put a note on it or not, but I know that Sasnak put some money in the kitty. Because when I was talking with Sasnak about it, he had said that there was money that was put in the kitty out of his pocket, and
as soon as Santa said how much it was going to cost, Sasnak came over the radio and said we owe $1,000
and I heard that. I mean, not on the CB, but I heard that happened, and the money side of things always seems to be the first thing that's questioned about in any kind of a movement's departure. Okay, and in all of my time, every time I see that there's a movement and it's disbanding or it's going downhill or whatever, everybody starts talking about money. Well, that was cool. So all I can say is,
Have you tried to pull up English?
it won't go.
Okay.
It's down.
I was just reading the comment in there. Is there still a link?
No,
to
the
make
site's
donations?
down.
And the reason why I don't
I haven't
want to
been
refresh
reading.
mine is because I can still read the
Right,
statement.
and see where people say, "Oh, it's still up." No, if you refresh your webpage, it'll break.
Convoy.org. Go to the official page, not the Facebook page.
Yeah, it's down. Oh, thank you, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was just clarifying with Tom since I wasn't there.
And I was.
So, but one individual is saying that, but Mark has asked for it on stage.
Mark has asked for donations every time he was on stage.
Okay,
because
and that, and I was told, again, this is, hearsay, that Marcus explained that they had a venue. Not me. Oh, hell no.
He's
It's just-
broadcasting. He's broadcasting. That's why I came in, because he was broadcasting.
So, put your ugly face around. Okay, that's fine. they'll get your arm anyway. So, yeah. So in any case, I can envision that what was said is that we have the parking space and they want $15,000, and they, if it were me, I would have said something like that, and so on. But again, even Lisa said there was no contract, but there was a verbal agreement for $15,000, and they have yet to be billed for that. Okay, and so if the $15,000 was in the account, that's to the People's Convoy. The People's Convoy would have paid that when the bill came. That's what they did before. So it was always an invoicing process according to what was said, and that you invoice them, you got the bill, you get the bill paid, voila. And a lot of times that's what happens between friends. And I understand that Scott and Chris are friends with Lisa. So, at least my understanding.
I would hope somebody's friends with Lisa.
Yeah.
Because how would we have known about the track if somebody wasn't friends with Lisa?
So, yeah.
So, are you opposed, or would you agree to having a live stream? When?
Fine.
Okay, all four of us on our own live streams. Simulcast. All four of us on our own live stream.
We were talking about that a month ago.
Can I add something else about what I have seen and observed?
This is a digestion point.
But
they're asking if you're mud pig.
no, I'm not mud pig.
And he's
Do
not
I look
Gray
like
Wolf.
do I look like
You wouldn't be able to fit
too
this
short.
screen.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to fit the screen if you were.
That's what I told him. He said, "Why are you mud pig? You look like more."
It's
No.
crazy. No, that's correct, Susie. It was 15.
Before I say this,
Hang on. Be right back.
Stay tuned. Commercial break.
You can talk to him if you want. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go get another cup of coffee.
Okay, here you can answer the question.
No, that's what I just did from Loretta's. That's why I had him.
Okay.
All right. Where we at? All right, guys, stop going so fast. I haven't heard anything about North Dakota yet, Marianne. Okay, Mary Atkins, we've all asked for donations in one way or another. Okay, I've asked numerous times for donations to the People's Convoy going down the road on my live stream. Okay, that's how we kept the movement going. Deborah, I'm still at a loss for words of what went down yesterday. And confused, okay? And that's why I'm asking GWT 333 and Gray Wolf and Mud Pig if we can all sit down and do a simulcast live stream this evening, all right? So far, it sounds like everybody's on board. Okay, are we the organizers? No. We're just four individuals that were part of the People's Convoy that are no longer part of it. I know Loretta. That's why I told him to introduce himself. Okay, we still have to pay the tract for the time that we were there. Plus, I'm sure we're going to have to pay cleanup fees now. No, the G's went home, okay? Little G was being deployed. They went home to say goodbye to Little G because we was going overseas for 2 years. Boy, this thing's going fast.
I know, he's got this thing all pulled up.
Right.
What? I don't understand the Proud Boys? No, I understand them pretty well. Right now, from what I saw. So, anyways, what I was going to let y'all know as well, coming across here, because y'all know I keep my eyes open on everything that's going on. People are talking about a lot of the donations and stuff. I literally seen a lot of donations coming across going directly to Santa and being handed to him. So before y'all start with all this stuff about the People's Convoy doing something fraudulently, I might want to look at that a little bit too. I mean, no, we're not joining Santa. We're not going to be a part of their movement. As you found out, basically, everybody's talking about the concept of them literally taking over the whole thing, you know. That was not cool. I mean, and I'm not here I'm just speaking some things that I saw. And literally yesterday there was a couple walk up to the bus looking for Santa, saying they were going to make some $1 million decisions and that they were going to sell their house and everything else. And I talked to him for a minute, and I told him, I said, well, Santa's not an organizer. And I took him to the side and talked to him about it, and I was like, do y'all talking to Santa about, or wanting to talk to Santa because he's not an organizer for the People's Convoy? All this stuff, I mean, it was everything Santa, 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 Santa. No, Marcus did not ask for it. Santa did over the CB. I still got the video. Yeah, you're right. Money is the root of all evil. You're correct. No, well, officially, I'm going to make my statement right here. I am no longer affiliated with the People's Convoy. I am not affiliated with whatever Santa and his crew's got going on. I'm going to go back and work on the states and do what I said I was going to do before I jumped back in. But I just had to go along and see what I saw, and now I see it, and I don't want to be a part of it. I've got plenty of intel, I've got plenty of video, I've got plenty of stuff in the background from all places, and literally it is well, the first statement about the $15,000 came from Santa over at CB when we were going down the road. Did Marcus possibly back that up? Yes. I probably have that on video if it's at one of the meetings. But that's what we were told over to CB. When I went to Santa and asked him how much we had officially collected, he couldn't tell me.
Okay.
But as far as, like I said, seeing for myself, people walk up, where's Santa? I have money for him. I saw that. So if there's something to do with the whole money situation,
What's what?
I mean, I would look that direction as well, just not at the organizers there.
And you said you had three? The Eagle?
Oh, yeah.
That's me.
Juice going back into the system here. So, all right. So, this is the thing about being on here. Anyway, I get an idea because it's more kind of a conversation. But, yeah. So through digesting all of the occurrences, and of course, it amazes me how many people immediately go to conspiracy mode when things happen. But as I was saying before I started, before I had to run and use the facilities, but what I was saying is that the convoy had to come to an end, and I've been making that statement for a long time. That the movement itself needs to continue on, and it needs to be expanded upon. And it doesn't mean what was in the. I mean, you were there yesterday when the last draft was being read, right? Mm-hmm. And in there, the transition comment.
Right.
The meaning of the transition comment was to give a national overlay for the states to be able to overlay. I almost got mine. I almost got mine.
I haven't hooked mine up yet. I mean, I'm just...
Yeah, no, I'm saying I have one. Yeah, but anyways, that all had to go.
Well, here, before you point your fingers in one direction, look at the whole picture.
Exactly.
I mean, there were people there that I trusted, that I thought were friends, that I found out last night were Proud Boys. And like I told them, I have nothing literally against the Proud Boys other than what they just. And I don't respect that. They came in and literally, like me and Grey Wolf, we have our own businesses. Blinky's got his own business. Mudpig's got his own business.
I'm leased on to somebody else.
And we came in for the people and the People's Convoy movement, not political movement.
I should say a one side or the other movement for
Right.
politics.
No, it was fight both sides.
Because I don't care if it's Republican or if it's Democrat.
Somebody said it's not red, it's not blue. We are purple.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, and that's a good point, is that, it doesn't matter if we personally supported Trump, or if we supported Biden, or if we supported Hillary Clinton, or whoever. The fact is that this is an American issue. And that's what we all represented, is that
we didn't come down for violence. We didn't come down to overthrow a government. We didn't
Reiterate, did not
Did
come
not.
down here to overthrow.
and the thing is here, the three of us put everything we had on the line.
And then some.
I put know that my wife is deaf, her home, I put our business, everything on the line for this, and we believed in what we were doing. And then when we seen what was going on yesterday and how we were being used by the whole thing and trying to be pulled in.
Call from Sweet Vince Galena.
Hold on here. Hello.
So,
You're here. Well, we're sitting inside here at the table. Okay?
we don't have a way to increase table size, so right behind us is fine.
We're sitting inside here at the table talking with the.
So, there's,
Taking over.
a little housekeeping. Each of us has our own opinions.
I don't see your point.
And opinions, everybody has, but opinions are like, the smelly stuff.
well-
Everybody's got one, right? But
Regardless of who the Proud Boys are, I don't need the Proud Boys to protect me. I did a pretty good job of protecting myself the whole time I was there. And Gray Wolf, he's ex-military. We both know how to protect ourselves. I walked that place until 4 o'clock in the morning most of the time. And matter of fact, I sat at the gate every night here since we've been there pretty much until 3 a.m. in the morning watching. And
All right, guys, let's get off the cash. Okay.
and
see,
The
that's
point-
my
the
point.
point
It's always about
is-
the money, the money, the money,
the
the money.
point is, whether it's the government or whoever, down to organizations and movements and everything else, they want to label them as terrorist organizations. Well, they literally sucked us into that with what they just did, trying to get us involved in. My outlook is last night, they have their own organization. Why didn't they just call it the Proud Boys Convoy and do their own thing instead of coming hijacking?
We don't know that the quote organization probably just to clarify, we don't know that the organization Proud Boys was coming in to hijack the convoy. We don't know that for a fact. Okay,
Speculation.
it's a speculation, and so all we know is that an individual is an admitted, and there's people in here. No, he's not. He's an admitted Proud Boy. They can go back to when we retired the flag on the back of his truck, and they can see that he's standing there in his Proud Boy shirt, his hoodie, okay, with Proud Boys and with a Proud Boy flag on the truck. I mean, that's not the dispute.
Yeah.
Okay, it is when it becomes, and I don't know the behind the scenes as to why there was this big move to have Santa run.
Once again, speculation.
It's all speculation. So, just clarification. I personally looked at the Proud Boys in one. I didn't have a comfortable feeling with every one of the bits of the information that I was reading, so I declined. But I do know that there's best intentions and still have a few faults that will be expanded upon. Okay? And best intentions, from what I see at the heart of that movement, is they're still patriotic freedom fighters, okay? But then the faults are where I have has issues. But my point, and I said it earlier and I'll say it again, is when it comes to interpretation by the officials, that it immediately throws a big spotlight on. And because, let's face it, there are Proud Boys in jail, whether they were set up or not is not the dispute, in the DC jail for J6. And they, in brackets, they're using it as a government excuse to classify things, okay? And that's all this is about. That's all the comments were about. I have no problem with Santa as a person. I had enjoyed, love the guy. I really do love him. I'll treat him like a brother. And I will tell everybody that.
Hi, sweet bit.
Hey, you. How are you? Good seeing you.
I'm glad I finally made it.
Yeah.
How was your trip?
It's a little backwoodish, but it's okay.
It's Pennsylvania.
No, I'm talking your trip that you were live streaming or recording down in. You went on a sightseeing tour.
Oh yeah, I went to Antietam.
What bag?
Says it looked like Santa was left holding the bag. No, he
No,
took the bag.
he took the bag. That's true. Yep. Yeah. Well, we're going on the clarification, and we don't want to make it. We don't want to dwell on that. Is my point. Tom said his, Blinky, and that's where I think that we're looking and saying, okay, best of our knowledge. All right, we're truck drivers.
I never once stepped foot in that bus.
Yeah, we're truck drivers. Now, there's a lot of people saying that I was on a power trip trying to do X, Y, Z. That's it. Look,
XYZ PDQ.
right? I mean, I made no bones about it. Even before the convoy started, I was doing live streams saying I am not a organizer. I clarified that on just about every single video I ever started. And when I got into, and then there was discussions, there was opinions asked for, and I gave my opinion. So at that point, I considered my role at time, okay, because this was about the people. And then, okay, you would expect ebb and flows to go, people have to go home, people have to go. There are those that believe and say, well, you should just give up everything if you believe that the Lord's telling you to do this. That's their thing. And I don't knock any of that. What people that are there, for the very reason that they're there, that they, not the ones that are, you've got the exact same thing butting heads? Hold on a minute. That's what confuses me. When this disconnect occurred yesterday, I saw it as an opportunity, and I believe what should have happened, and this is, I think, where it went south. Well, there was a couple of things. One, I believe that the one thing I disagree with on what Santa did, he shouldn't have run off. He shouldn't have let his emotions take over, and stood there with those people and explain what he had just been asked to do, which is do not associate the People's Convoy with anything that goes into Washington, D.C. That's all he was asked to do.
I'm leaning towards agreeing, because if he'd have stayed there, I believe he could have kept that rowdy crowd calm.
Absolutely. There's not a doubt on my mind. Nobody was being asked to leave the premises.
No.
Nobody was being said that once you leave, you can go down. None of that. It was, look, now, I agree that we should have had a longer time period than 7 days. Okay? We should have, If there's a month on the verbal agreement,
We should
let's go ahead and take it out to the month, okay?
with the understanding.
With the understanding that there's a transition, that maybe the People's Convoy leadership will leave and whatever's left is, with Lisa. So is there, or the friends that may have been accountable for whatever's left if they left, okay? I don't know. There
So
could have
here,
been
somebody sat here and just said Jesus sacrificed everything for this world, the people in the world. Well, I'm sorry, Santa is. Okay, and if people think that, you better wake up.
So the opportunity to have that entire deal made peaceful within the convoy participants.
Stephen, I can't speak for the people. I can speak for myself. I do not hate Santa.
Yeah,
I don't either.
I don't hate him either.
I don't either.
I just don't.
And I only disagreed with what his intentions were.
Yes.
That is the only
His
thing.
intentions scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. His intentions didn't scare me. I just thought it was not right to.
They all know.
To
They
take-
all know, Dead Crow. Everybody here
take-
knows that
take
we're
a whole
streaming.
bunch of older people into. There's two people.
We're
I
having an
looked at,
open conversation.
and what scared me was the point that no exit strategy, because he knew that they were going in there and they weren't coming out. And there was two older people there, lovely people. I loved them. I actually kissed both of them on the forehead and just said, I mean, I can't tell what, but everything else that I have to go do something stupid.
And I had said before I left
There's
here,
not.
exactly
there-
right. I've been saying it and repeating it
Sweet
multiple.
bit.
To do anything, it would have been over so quickly.
Hi, everybody. Sweet bits.
So
They were
so
asking who you
quickly
Oh,
that it wouldn't even
me.
wouldn't even have been a blip on the radar scale.
That's right. So the whole point of any effective movement, if you go back to MLK, the Million Man March, you go to where did change occur? It always changed. The changes occurred, and the attention was grabbed when there was large amounts of people. Now, may have been. What's she saying? Who? Gypsy. People followed Santa because they were all told to be ready. Even Oreo thought they were going to DC. The people were told, if they leave now, don't come back. No, they weren't Gypsy. Nobody was told, don't come back.
Told to leave their stuff there because they would be able to come back.
Exactly. And they were planning on going back and having the kitchen cook food and be able to take that down to them twice a day. And all of that was still intact.
Yeah.
The only thing that was being talked about was there was a closure date of 7 days being given
Instead of a month.
instead of a month. That's it. No one was asked to leave. No one was asked to choose sides. None of that. That's that right now. There are 5 of us sitting here that all knew that.
Actually, no. Everybody. My understanding was if they left, that's the reason why I was sent to the gate.
No, that wasn't. The only ones that would have to stay out were anybody that created trouble.
Well, that's the whole point. Everybody in the whole.
No, but that was after the intensive. Okay, what I'm saying is, what happened in the messaging? He only read it, and I wish he would have given it some context and some.
Well.
But look, that's water under the bridge. When they
Right.
that would have been on
Yes.
they would have been trespassed and not allowed back in. Those individuals were the only ones that would have not been allowed back in because they were creating trouble.
Are you? Oh, you're still way up there. I'm just letting it
So
go.
To clarify, no one at the time of the reading on the stage that you couldn't come back. The press release never said that nobody was welcome back. Nobody was told if you go to DC, you're not welcome back. Nobody was told that. Okay. Everyone was told your stuff will be safe. If you've got your children that you're leaving here with some sitters or whatever, they will be safe, but we have to wrap it up within 7 days. And as I've already stated many times, I thought that was a little bit short. I thought we should have taken the entire month.
But here's another thing. When Rose got up there with the speaker before, because they already knew what statement was coming, they were trying to get everybody out of there before that statement was made. And that...
And he's all about what I'm about ready to ask Sweet Bits over there. Sweetheart?
Yes.
We're going to do what you call it earlier?
A multicast.
A multicast.
No.
Everybody,
Multiple streamcast.
Okay, everybody that's got a live,
Yes.
we're all going to go on to our lives and we're going to sit down and have a cussing discuss.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Would you like to join us?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So,
That's why we're
and the
here.
idea behind this is he's got 1,100 people on this chat right now. It's hard to catch all the comments.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. If
I
we all
get the
split
meeting
it up,
too, yeah.
Then
There may be people that'll catch your notification or his notification or her
I'm just now
notification.
starting mine up, so.
And they're going to get those notifications that because they may not be subscribed here.
Exactly.
Well,
So
and people were let back
My
in
chat
to
always
come
has
get their
room.
stuff. They pulled up at the gate. They came in to get their stuff.
Yeah.
Rose, she pulled up and said she was calling the police on me.
Yeah.
And then that's when the police showed up. And I told her, I said, well, you're acting a little erratic. So if the police escort you in to get your stuff, that's another thing. And when the police showed up, they just come flying in, and she came barreling up, hit me with her car. They saw it. They wanted me to file charges on her, and I didn't.
I wasn't witness to any of that. Was that up the gate?
That was at the gate, because I was told to go up to the gate and watch the gate. And that's all I was doing is what I was asked to do. And it was just not the standpoint.
Oh, and they witnessed her
Yes.
hitting you?
Yeah, they would come over there to do the report and everything else.
Wow. So then they wanted you to do a report.
Yeah, they were going to probably
See,
arrest
that's-
her. So because she assaulted me with her vehicle.
So I can't comment on that, folks, but there you go.
Anyways, regardless of
following
that,
his live. I'm not doing a live right now.
regardless of that, here's the thing. Me personally, I'm upset about the whole.
The lady filming is Sweet Bits. She joined the
Wyoming.
right in Wyoming, and does a little streaming on her own. And we got nothing to hide here. That's why we're kind of Q&A this right now.
And here when Mud Pig gets here.
And Mud Pig is on his way. He should be here in about an hour, I understand. So Sweet Bits for Freedom is the lady, the redhead lady that's got her camera going. She's just live streaming as well. It's individual stuff. So now you know who that is. All right.
How many you got going live on yours right now?
Oh, thank you, Kimberly Sweet. So Kimberly Sweet just posted the link to your stream. It's on mine.
So here's the thing, guys. Like I said, I don't care what's going on back on over there. It's done. It's over with. I'm out. I'm not following Santa. I just talked to Lisa, the mayor. She's got 15 states right now.
Yeah, she's working in a grouping. I need to talk to her. She sent me some emails last week. We had conversations about the DC thing, and I have personal knowledge that she thought that it was a bad idea without the numbers too.
Right.
So everyone I spoke with said that they thought it was a bad idea to go down there with the numbers that were sitting here. All right. And I had said, if the numbers were more, it would be a completely different story.
Right.
Right.
And so, but everybody's trying to build into, oh, well, you're a coward or you're afraid or no, we're military guys.
No,
There's
not
a
even-
difference.
it's
There's
not-
a,
There's gotta be strategy.
there's
Strategy
there's a
and plan.
standpoint. There's a standpoint where there's
Yeah.
being a coward.
Okay, let me put it to you
or
this
not
way.
being stupid.
People, let me put it. Are you willing to give up everything that you've ever worked for?
In your entire life.
Well,
In your
actually,
entire life.
here's a question. People that are saying these things, go down there and go do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Get off the
You're
couch.
more
Let's-
than welcome.
why
Go
don't
down there
you
and go do it.
Okay,
Have at it.
I've worked too long and too hard to get to where I am now.
It's all right when they're sitting there
Okay.
being the cowboy, that
Right.
cowboy
It's
behind
easy
it,
when they're sitting there on that keyboard. But when it comes
You
time to
talk
doing
a lot.
it, then when it comes time to doing it, you're not going to see them there. All right. And
They're
that's,
gonna be hiding.
they're going to be hiding behind whatever curtain they're hiding behind. But where Blinky was
And I
just going
ain't
with
the
this.
type of person
yeah.
that's going to go down. I am not the type of person that's going to go down and hide behind a bunch of old people and children either.
Right. And
That's not me.
And so, what I have said, and I'm going to follow on Blinky, is I had stated that I will not go down there and give everything up. A possible RICO on my vehicle. I never get it back. It's not going to jail, and I can just get it out of impound. And I'm going to have seizures of my bank and seizures of. If I don't have anything,
And
what do
mine
nothing?
went one step further.
You're taking theirs too.
I'm taking their livelihood, their business away.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing, guys. Let me explain something to you. Another thing you don't realize. Every one of you that donated to the People's Convoy
Thank
and
you.
everything else.
Thank you.
Guess what? They roll in there that way, under that. Guess who else they're coming after? Just like they did in Ottawa.
They did do that
So,
in Ottawa. They did go
We're
out
talking
down to
RICO.
who
We're
gave-
talking
yeah.
RICO because you're
Dinger, 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 yeah, that's the-
you're going to be
Funding
help-
a cause.
You're
Yep.
going to be funding a terrorist organization.
Yeah, if they truly classified. Now, whether that was a tactic used by them to scare us into basically disbanding the convoy
Yeah, Kim.
or not, I'll never know. We'll never know. I know that before I went in there, into Hagerstown this time, I know that I had made promises to these people on my chat here in my stream that I was going to go back there and look in the whites of their eyes.
Well, I understand that, but do you understand what RICO is? RICO. Okay.
Okay, in a
Spell it
nutshell,
for 'em.
there's about all right. There's about 30 or maybe 20. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons that you can have RICO involved in a seizure.
Hold on. I want to make a comment here. Island design. Everybody, before I ever got down there, I've always told everybody I would not step foot into Washington, D.C. I've said that from the beginning. I would not step foot in Washington, D.C.
Can I reiterate that? Okay. I went to DC in my truck, stayed on the freeways. I went to
So did I.
DC.
So did I. 4
Okay.
different times.
Well, see,
Y'all have to read
here's
it.
a little thing here. Being them disassociating with the group that were going into DC, if they did anything,
Saying if, and there's that 2-letter word.
if they did anything, that would not fall back onto the organization and the people that supported the organization.
Right. That's a
so
discount.
therefore, they were protecting the people that donated and were parts of this organization.
Yep.
And
That
if
includes
you
us.
can't see that, that is your problem.
Right.
I know what it was.
Yeah.
He knows what it was. I'm
still
telling
learning.
you.
And Blinky's taking it in, and so here's the thing. RICO has a whole bunch of reasons it can be implemented. One of them is terrorism. Okay, if they have now considered, if they had considered the group, the People's Convoy, a terrorist threat, not necessarily a terrorist organization, but a terrorist threat by association, okay, then that gives them the ability to have any seizures in the district a RICO event, which means you don't get impounded, it is seized.
And here's another thing. Oh, we don't understand the law? Oh.
Okay, never even asked that.
So here's another little thing. When Santa was in Indiana and we were at the auction, he stood up there on the stage, and he made, his sweet bitch is over here nodding her head.
Yep.
Yeah.
He made the comment.
Okay, Brian Brazzi, block him.
No,
That's not Brian Browser.
no.
It's not Brian Brazzi.
Yeah. And here's exactly what I'm going to tell you. He said up there that, and I've got. He said the words that the Second Amendment gives us the right to overthrow our government. Gives us the power, and the words were overthrow.
Okay, let me first clarify this Brian Brazzi comment. You have my phone number. Send me a text saying yes. And if I get the text that says yes, then I will stand down and I will allow you to have what you want.
Brian Browser only told me before he doesn't have that.
He doesn't have a YouTube account. He's claimed that himself. So I'm going to immediately assume that it is a hack account, that it's a troll. Because you can create accounts like
Yeah,
this.
because I just talked to Brian Browser, who was out with his family. So
Yeah. So if
I've already
Brian
had that seen that. I've got
Brian
screenshots.
Brazzi has my phone number, and if Brian Brazzi is honoring me with his com- he can simply send me. He says, "Yes, it's lies. It's a fraud." Okay. Kill Brian unless my phone goes ding. It's that quick. It's that simple.
Here we go. I mean, I'm getting people saying Brian's having a father-daughter day.
That's what I just got off the
There
phone
you
with
go. This is exactly what we've been trying to say to
Yes.
you people for a very long time. Stirring the pot and making crap up and saying that we said stuff that we never said. Hell, we even have evidence, okay, of them taking our streams, taking certain an entire conversation that never happened because they sliced and diced a stream up, okay? And then they put it back out and they're laughing about it and saying, see, look what Grey Wolf said. And when I never said it. They're video editing it all.
UT, that's a question you need to ask Brian. It's just speculation.
That's right.
You need to ask Brian.
That's correct. So, I don't want to get stuck on Brian Brazzi. I love him like a brother.
Respect him.
And I respect him, and I expect his movement. I expect his heart. I respect him in his heart because I have had those conversations with Brian, and
See right here. This
Yeah.
is what conversation I have with Brian right here.
Mhm.
About somebody pretending to be him right
He
there.
actually
Brian
says it right
Browser.
there.
I took a screenshot of it,
Yep.
sent it to him. He's like, 100% not
not
me.
100% not. This was at a different moment in time.
Yeah, this
but he
is
responded
like-
to JWT or GWT. I mean,
Let me see when this
back
was.
in the beginning of May, wasn't it? Or end of
4/23.
October, 4/23. So
when
Brian
when
does not
the
have.
day after he left.
So he doesn't have a YouTube account. And like I said, he has my phone
Yeah, I
number.
took my shoes off there, Tom.
All he has to do is send an email or a text message. And I haven't got the text message. So, moderators, Brian Brazzi is fake in this chat.
What about this whole deal with Mike? I keep hearing this. Did Mike?
Why did Mike hit Marcus?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
I don't speak for Mike.
Right.
I don't speak for Marcus.
Okay, that's a question you need to ask Mike.
Right. That's none of my business.
That's how I run my page. I don't talk
That
about
could
other
have
people
been
unless they're here to
The Daily Beast guy, Great Wolf, LOL. Yeah, Wendy, you could be right. You know what? That Daily Beast guy, he just loves me. After the Senate meeting and after I got on his...
No, Laura, donators are not bad people. Okay,
No.
that's why they made this donated to the
Correct.
TPC.
To disconnect. All right, people, let me say this again. The disconnect, if, keyword if, there were, you got to back up and get the context here. If I didn't witness it, I was told by several individuals that in Indiana, a comment was made that the convoy was going to Washington, D.C. to overturn the government. I didn't witness that myself. I was out here working. However, that is key enough to have the group going to D.C. to overthrow the government, classified as a terrorist movement. Okay?
Yeah, donators are not bad people.
Anything like that.
But the problem is,
let me finish, please. I'm sorry. But so now,
This is his page.
when you go to the second step of that is that the government now takes that and says anything that happens, it's because as a terrorist threat. Anything that happens gives them a legal authority to now use the terrorism. Okay, and that also gives them the ability to use the Patriot Act on any arrest. So any arrest now is Patriot Act because of domestic terrorism, and any seizure of asset becomes RICO. Okay, so now how do you protect against that? You disavow. All right, so you simply say, look, convoys roll.
Public statement.
Convoys roll from point A to point B. When point B is reached, you normally say, we're done, we got you here, have a great time. All right, you can consider a bus trip a convoy in itself, all right? And when you're off the bus, the convoy's done. And it's exactly the same thing when a convoy. When it stops rolling, it's complete. So, by saying now, we got you here, we're in Hagerstown, and oh, by the way, I know from several individuals that the leadership said when they got to Hagerstown, that when they turned the key off on the bus, that the convoy was over. Okay? I heard that in several different occasions.
Which one?
Right there. That's what they're trying to say on my screen.
Rev, it's protected,
No,
buddy.
So
I'm not going to
All-
tell
all
you
you do
what
at this
you...
point is,
All I'm telling you is,
call them out
if
and set them straight.
feeding...
Okay?
If
That's
people
all you can do
feed
to
into
protect
this
your base. Call them out and
engine
set them
of
straight.
the fear,
Crack the whip.
there
they're
is...
trying to say that we're
thing. All right, this is how they're building their fear mongering. But the best Rev was to disavow any of, in other words, hey, the People's Convoy in any movement into DC. Okay?
The four of us sitting here are not planning anything. We're just
Nope.
sitting here
We're not.
wrapping our heads around what
Right.
just happened.
But we do know what has happened in the past tense. And then we do know that there were individuals that are going to go into D.C. Among us, we were saying, no, we're not going to go into D.C. And we were given presenting our reasons as to why
You
we
were saying
were.
that before you even hooked back up. We discussed it on the phone before.
Yeah, I was saying that a week before I even got back to Hagerstown. So the big thing here is this. By the TPC doing what they did yesterday afternoon, they protected, because of what the government may or may not have, like I've said before, said that, hey, you guys are being viewed as a terrorist threat. I don't know that. I'm just saying that if they were, they could then legally manipulate anything to
So
say.
here's a question. They're saying
Somebody
that
waiting
you
outside
said,
that wants to talk to you. I saw it. But
Okay.
you're in the middle of a thing.
Girls.
Come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they don't want to be on camera.
Okay. They don't have to be on.
so they
camera.
can just come over there somewhere.
And they can
Here's
sit
the
over there,
thing.
you can go have
Here's
Yeah,
the thing.
okay.
Last
Hey,
night,
buddy.
I got to clear this up. Last night, people were telling me on my chat that you said that they aren't got $150,000 in 4 days.
And I explained it earlier before you came in. And again, this is how shit gets twisted. I said that when we got to Hagerstown, between the time we got to Hagerstown, or left Hagerstown, I should say, the first time, and the time we got to Sacramento, there was an increase of around $150,000 to the donated funds.
Correct. Which was, you can go on. Well,
From Hagerstown to Sacramento, in that time frame,
But not this $15,000 deal.
that had nothing to do with 15,000
Right.
deal. It had everything to do with the fact that I was talking about the donation fund had increased by $150,000 in that time frame.
So we got people that's twisting your words
Yeah.
and saying,
Yeah.
oh, that when they asked for the $15,000,
That they got $150,000.
They got $150,000. That's
Bullshit.
what I was seeing last night.
I never said that. I said the
I told
increase
him I
of
would clarify
150.
that with you today.
I'll be right back. Where is she?
I don't know.
Raising her hand?
There's she's with somebody else. There's two people out there. Trucker Girl 79 and somebody else. I think that's the name. She's actually been posting that for a while.
Right.
The whole point, guys, don't worry. Everything's gonna be all right. I've been saying that. That's what I've been saying.
Okay, and let's face it, Big D brought that up, and I'm sorry, we're gonna.
No, his was
Everything will be fine.
everything will be fine. No, I've been saying since the beginning, everything will be all right.
And I
So-
started saying, buckle up and enjoy the ride, or sit back and enjoy the ride, because it's a fun boy.
Right. And the thing is here, need you to understand also that, and I'm going to straight out say this, if you continue to, well, I don't know if I should say that or not, because under the current leadership,
All right, it's his lie. You're doing it in yours, they can, disclaimer, this is Grey Wolf's Live.
well, it already says a disclaimer.
Okay.
Here's the thing. If you what's left, and and the people that are involved as the leadership are on, I would say, the list, whether it's right or wrong, then you might have a problem.
The thing is you can't go to the webpage at all anymore.
I'm talking about
Those who are running the show
now. Yes. You might have a problem.
I'm not saying. I mean, if you support, okay, but know the risk.
Know the risk.
Know the risk. Okay? The risk is why I decided.
The risk is much greater. Let's put it that.
The risk is the reason why I decided not to go down to proper and up for a protest. I signed up for a convoy. All right, I need another cigarette. Ozzy, which speech are you talking about? The one where he called out about the Second Amendment?
None of these men are gonna know questions about Bitcoin money or how anything was distributed.
Bitcoin? Fake cash.
Right. Or how any of the donations were funded out, just like I don't know. They don't
I'll tell y'all right now, I was no part of the leadership. I just helped with security. That's it. I was a
I was never
volunteer.
once invited into the bus. I was just a participant. Okay? I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. I need to put another nail in my coffin.
Right? Maybe you might not be here by then.
My thing was to take a leadership role in the states to help get organized, but not as far as that
I can still see out.
I want to run the state or anything like that, just to help. That's it. That's all I'm here to do, just to help.
You need to understand that.
Most of us here, in some sense of the word, probably feel a little duped with everything that went down.
It's not just taking measures to address the whole
And actually feel like we kind of stabbed in the back by people who we thought were our friends.
My house.
Right.
I smack them around like children. Okay? My house. My room.
Oh. And if you guys,
That was all a deal with what they were playing, something that
see what happens.
they were playing and everything else. I understand.
I told you it'd be all right. You need to drive down there yourself and go to the foreign country if that's what you think that is required. It will do nothing.
I never replied to Convoy that says, are you guys the... Somebody named Connie says, are you the guys that met up with Grey Wolf last night?
We left Grey Wolf. We all left.
I always thought it was just like.
We were like, we're out. We're not going to have a part of any of it anymore.
Between DC and Maryland and do a route. We're protected by the Constitution. Driving down there and sacrificing yourself in a foreign country does nothing but last for 5 minutes as they haul your stuff away to the
Here's the reality. I've told y'all, everybody, the truth. This whole thing about going down to D.C. and everything else was never going to do any good in the first place. It was about getting the power back to everybody to take action. And that's it. It was never going to change anything in Washington, D.C. And going into Washington, D.C. Would have been considered a complete and utter act of
So have these men stayed, that's not the point.
Who are you, Mark?
You're obviously missing the point of what I'm stating. There was lots of other things that we could have done.
Well, let me ask you a question. If I would have went in there, got arrested, thrown in jail, and been locked up like the rest of the people that did this on January 6th, what happened to them, how could I still fight? How could I still how people can take back their power?
Nobody's quit, Christie. I'm not quit. These guys haven't quit. We're taking it to the states. We're our
Yeah.
activities.
Yeah, and when you look at the concept of how much fuel was bought and everything else, you really think that there is any money left? Why do you think they had to ask for $15,000 the other day to try to rent that place? Oh, I'm going to go back to work, and I'm going to work my way back across the country again. I was there last night when they left. I told the guys that I thought were my friends that basically come and find out they were who they said they are. I felt like I was stabbed in the back by these people.
Where did Bill say something? But he was waiting for you to say something that he can just you may scoot over and you said here.
I'm not Ron. Ron's outside.
You're getting hungry.
Come over here. Sit over here for a
Can you sit
second.
over there?
Well, I just looking at agents in here that are trying to take down the thing. Or if you want to call them agents or trolls or whatever. That's another thing. How do we know that whole deal wasn't a federal setup to take you like they do all the time? We watch all that stuff with the false flag stuff. You think?
You think we're stupid, that's the problem.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's what they want.
all I can say at this point forward is, do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
Find an organization that you trust. Do your own research. That's what I'm going to do. And either join that movement or create one yourself.
Yeah.
Organize with other organizations.
If you're so proud of your organization and everything, hell, they call it the Proud Boys. What if they just say the Proud Boys Convoy? That's what it just.
I wouldn't even go in there, okay? I joined this movement, this convoy, because of the 3 core values that was originally posted on the webpage. Okay? And I still believe that we need to get rid of the Emergency Powers Act. Okay? End all the mandates and hold those responsible accountable. That. Okay? Do I have other complaints? Yeah, I do. But, okay, this is not the time or place to bring up other issues. It's not.
Oh, I sound conspiracy theorized. No, not conspiracy theory. Holy shit, you're freaking idiots. I tell you, sorry, not all of you are idiots. There's good people here who are not idiots, but there's some freaking idiots. I mean, you're.
I'm sorry. We've got about 1,000
The trolls are so funny.
talking to us online. Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting your lunch.
Blinky, tell him like it is.
Okay.
That's what somebody told me.
Okay. Those of you who have watched my live streams know I don't talk politics. Okay. Those of you who watch me do my rallies, I mute every politician that gets up there. Okay. I don't know if they're good or bad. I don't know what they're going to say on my live stream, so I mute them.
Well, right now, as far as what I've seen, what they did, I
Okay.
don't consider them to be that good.
try not to be judgmental. We're all judgmental in one way or another, but I try not to be. I try to find the positive in every situation.
Yeah, the positive is that we can go home, go back to work,
It says
go
to
work
throw
on our
off, not
states,
to overthrow.
and
Darling, about the money, no one here knows anything about the money or where it went. We're discussing it.
Okay, but
Buzz had no control over the money.
Donnie, we have to trust that gut instinct, correct?
No one's here.
My first couple of days back into the convoy, and I tried to get Santa to the side to talk to him, and every time we tried to talk, it would get interrupted. Something just told me right there and there that I wasn't supposed to be around that. I take my feelings and my discernment and everything else to what God's trying to show me is.
I'm sitting here laughing because Grey Wolf's batteries are dying.
Let's plug this one in.
You know what?
They're dying.
There's 2 plugs right down there if anybody wants to get real powerful.
But he's got to have power ports.
No, I mean, instead of using batteries, there's 2 plugs underneath it. I'm hungry, y'all. You want something?
Like I said, it needs to be done on the state level. Everybody in their communities.
Email it to me and I tell you.
Well, the reality of it is, right now, I know where the fight is, and that's in the States.
Okay, Armada, send it to sweetbitsforfreedom@protonmail.com, please, if you would.
That was the instruction I was given. They said they came in peacefully to get their stuff. This was after the fact that I was told that anybody that leaves with that convoy, with that deal, with what they just pulled, were not welcome in because
earlier, but I tried to look it up.
and all I was doing literally was trying to keep from a big fight starting on that man's property over there. And as soon as it came down from Scott, the owner of the property, that everybody needed to leave, and I went over and verified that for myself, I said, yes, sir. He shook my hand, said, oh boy, anytime you want to come back, you're welcome, as long as it ain't. I ain't coming back to this part of the country, because that was, the whole thing was just not right. My Convoy was the name itself. I seen what happened when we rolled into DC, and we had the numbers that were when we rolled into Hagerstown the first time, and then that first week when we had the numbers we had. If we'd done something then, I was preparing for that. I had DEF brought in, 4 pallets of DEF because it was during the winter. Me knowing what I know, I was preparing for in just in case something happened where they got locked down somewhere, that we could get supplies into them possibly. And because there were trucks that needed F1 tons, all of them, that if they had to idle their engines, they would have to have that. And that was, I was preparing to be support in the background and help the people that were there. But then it just went on and on. I had no control about the whole thing about going around the Beltway. It made no sense, and I just watched people leaving. And it was disheartening. As far as I'm concerned right now, yeah, I have Jersey Jay's phone number. I asked him when we were coming into town. I called him. I told him, please don't come over there. We'd already been told that they weren't welcome. I was trying not to have to face off my friend or somebody that I just didn't want to have that conflict.
Clyde, you'll have to ask the outlaws that question themselves.
What's that?
Are they properties?
No.
Ask them themselves. Ask them.
No.
Okay.
The outlaws, they gone. Big D, he went the other route. I know why. I can't really say too much about that, but anyways,
Thank you.
the outlaws,
Thank you.
they went their own direction, and
Thank you.
they stood out there and said they weren't going to be part of what
Oh,
was going to happen. They didn't agree with it because all that, like the comment was said, that there was a bunch of old people and everything else that they were dragging down there. And literally, I think one of the comments was lambs being taken to slaughter, or sheep being led to slaughter, or whatever. And that was not. That ain't. I'm telling you right now, the outlaws wasn't in for that. So that's the reason why they said we're out.
Yeah, Donnie, I would like to see a small convoy. Okay, very effective. But we need funding, and we need an organization or a individual or a group of individuals that are trustworthy. Okay, and I'm not saying that our organizers of the TPC were not trustworthy. Okay, I'm not saying Santa's not trustworthy. We've all got checkered pasts. Every one of us. Okay? But my past has made me the person that I am today. Your past has made the person you are today. Correct, Tom?
Yeah. Oh, I've made some for my mistakes.
You have to ask,
I tried to tell Santa several times. I said, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?"
You'll
And
have
I
to
told
ask.
him.
You'll
And I
have to
told
ask
him I
Big
was not
D or Red why the punch was thrown. I wasn't there.
Oh no. Story I heard that he tripped over, he fell backwards over an ice cooler. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody got called out and involved.
Only thing I did know, the only thing that I do know is I did.
EWT Barbara Dan just blatantly said you don't like Santa. Would you clarify that? Right here. Barbara Ann, GWT definitely doesn't like Santa. Would you clarify that? Set her straight.
Don't like Santa.
Mm-hmm.
I did not agree with what. Not whether it's a like or dislike thing. I did not agree with what he was doing. And I told him straightforward to his face, I did not agree with it. Matter of fact, the day that he made this statement, about after he did his little speech there in Indiana, I pulled him outside, on the outside of the building, and I told him, I said, you cannot be making statements on the freaking live stream about overthrowing the government. That's not what we're here to do. Oh, did I say that? Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Now he's denying it. I've got it. I've got it out on 4 sites right now.
Lorna, ask him. Ask Santa if he's a problem. That's going straight to the source. No, I agree, Sandy. Santa's not a bad person. His heart's in the right place. It's his tactics.
No, I was not going into these. You don't understand who I am, okay? You don't know nothing about what I know, okay? I know what I was planning on doing.
Some of the people in this country, we don't know each other, and we're only going to get stronger.
I was there
It's not all.
to,
It's not open.
I was there to provide support and to help protect people. And didn't know how infiltrated we were right from the beginning.
You know, people are asking why weren't people ready. It takes time.
Yeah. Well,
It takes time.
here it is. Again, it was supposed to be the People's Convoy, but other people came in with their own agendas. And they know they did. We know you did. Just be honest about it. Just like you trolls right now have your own agendas to sit here and try to smack talk us, badmouth us, destroy us, so we don't have a voice anymore. And that's what it's all about. And I'm going to say it for what it is. I'm not stupid.
GR. That's a question you'll have to ask the
Closer to
organizers.
home. How far am I from home right now? I'm a long ways from home.
Introductions? How you doing? Richard.
Blinky.
How you doing?
Richard?
I don't think introductions are
I've watched
necessary.
both you guys on YouTube.
I'm sorry.
You're from Arizona.
Yeah.
No, my company that I'm
Okay.
leased onto is.
Okay.
D.
Hi, D.
Okay.
AKA Trucking Girl 79.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. I've seen your posts.
And I'm Ron's personal human GPS when he was
That's correct.
working over
All
here.
these little side streets and everything that my GPS
Is that the reason why we got lost last night?
We never
That
got
was-
lost.
we never got-
We never.
Nobody was tailing.
I pointed out to her where you did get lost. When you got on,
What?
you got on 230 instead of 283 east.
This is not a.
Just that little loop back.
They got it down.
Yeah, because you just go down through and out
Right.
to the airport. And
But
back.
that was the thing.
I'm 1,400 miles from home, guys,
I
so
was
I
sitting
ain't
there.
even close to home.
I was sitting there last night driving
But-
on the
but
road,
is
and
there
I'm
any
thinking
doubt in your
in
mind
the
that
back
you
of
can
my
find
well,
a
I'm
load
getting
out
text messages, right?
Final load.
And I'm on the stream, and I'm getting these text messages. People are following you. So I had GPS errors.
You did have people following you.
Huh?
You did have
I
people
did.
following. Right, yeah.
I had a couple people following,
But you wasn't supposed to be trying to lose us.
I wasn't. I looked in the mirror and
My
went,
wife,
"Uh-oh."
my wife was about ready to take my head off because all the.
we're
I won't say what it does. You're not on film. No, I don't care if I'm on.
So we had to have a couple of GPS errors.
that's why I asked you where we were going.
Right.
Because I plugged it
That's
in.
why I went ahead and then muted the mic and gave you the address. So I was like, okay, because, well, what it was is,
And I'm
is
glad
that
I
my
did
brother
because I
texted
slugged
my
down to wait for
daughter
him.
that said, careful, this and that, and then there was a couple of other people. So I'm sitting here looking at my text messages going, oh crap, I never
Don't
thought
admit
about that.
that. Do not admit that.
But
That's distracted driving.
Right?
that's right. I got a ticket for that,
Okay. Don't
even though I
admit
wasn't
that.
doing it. I got it in the mail.
Yeah, out of DC when
Out of
Okay,
DC
no
Metro.
bad.
DC Metro sent me a ticket for distracted driving, saying I was on the CB and blowing the horn. The thing of it is, you had to go to Tyler Lee's video to actually see that it was a left hand pulling a horn, and my mic was in the cradle. So nonetheless, hey guys, here I am. So, is this off again? Yeah, no.
It's trying to, but if you've
They're
got
all
a
plugs
plug,
down.
there's 2 plugs directly underneath this trailer if you want to plug in the power instead of burn it off.
Get some, yep, coffee.
When we come out of the Walmart at Carlisle, I thought you'd be here by now.
It's supposed to be coming.
Yeah, we stopped at the Walmart at Carlisle real quick. So
Yeah.
figured one take while he was leaving the nice moisty creek that he was at.
Right?
He was only hammering and screaming crocodile.
Yeah, the live feed
Anytime
is,
now, 'cause it's been
is
about an hour
robot
since we
free
sent
on
that.
YouTube. It's when the feed stops and it's trying to save that it becomes that it's scanned by the bots. The camera, I don't have it in a holder. So
Oh, you lost a lot of. But
yeah,
your mods were whacking trolls.
Whack-a-troll.
Yes, they were on whack trolls.
That's what the mods do.
Or cuss him out like I did.
Yeah,
Cuss him out or click delete, fine, see ya.
yeah.
Don't need to see you.
So.
But I let my mods do most of the work, but when I get involved, I take them out behind the woodshed.
Yeah, see, there's the mods do a pretty good job on here.
Yeah, Texas girl, he does that.
Right? So,
I'll smack him around a little
oh,
bit.
Joe says hi.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. To both of you. So, no, I'm not going home. I am going to be out here on the East Coast doing some trucker work.
Which
Yeah. So I'm out here doing some trucker work, and I'll be out here for the foreseeable future, seeing about going home for little bits of time, if nothing else. But let's just say the coffers ran completely dry, and it's going to take a bit to get it back to even a manageable level. So, yeah.
Hey, Patricia, I listen to Oreo streams. Why can't he listen to ours? Right? Yeah.
Right.
Oreo, WYSIWYG.
Yep.
I love their media approach to what everything's going on. I watched WYSIWYG. He was upset. I could see it in his face, but he was getting both sides of the story.
Right.
Oreo was getting both sides of the story.
But then switched it around and put in his own opinions afterwards.
But that's what's wrong with media today.
Media today, that's right.
It's not-
RT Firefly is thanking you for coming up and supporting.
That's what we're here for.
So, hey, BCP, thank you for being in there. So, What's that?
I agree, Kimberly. I agree.
Which one?
The last one she just put up. They get a lot more lippy when you step away.
Yeah, so I've got the fly swatter out. But
Not me, I
Yeah.
break out the whip.
yeah, it's like I'm just swatting flies. But yeah, Abby is still with me, Gary, and I want to do a shout out to BCP. You're a wonderful guy, and I appreciate you hearing me last night, and nothing but respect, brother. So, I've seen parts in some of the conversations last night, and I was trying to bring it together and culminate it in that obviously, and you know this, that it was extremely emotional, and that in very short moments of time, trying to bring it all into the times. There's a lot of stuff that I was trying to compress together that may have been misinterpreted by a few, and some lines that I was comparative lines that I was trying to bring together as well. We're also some of the individuals that I spoke to off camera, I'm somewhat dismayed that they brought forth private conversation into. I don't do that. If somebody asks me not to, I don't.
They record after you ask them not to record?
All right.
It was off camera, and so.
Carrie, I'm not trying to speculate. I don't think any of us are trying to speculate what happened. And the facts will come out, just like any investigation.
That's right.
Period.
As a nonprofit organization, and there's some individuals who have worked with them with 501c3s, or been around them or associated in one way or another. What has to happen at any kind of a conclusion is there has to be a complete audit of that account, and that will happen. Everybody's saying audit the account, audit the account, audit the account.
It can't be done overnight. Cannot be done overnight.
It was not, Kitty Hawk. It was not, because that's the whole reason for the nonprofit being utilized. So, yeah, and unfortunately, that is the necessary evil. 501c3s are government monitored, and you're fighting the government, but you're using the government, ironically, to protect you from the government. Yes, that's the necessary evil, I'm afraid. Linda, we have Blinky.
Yeah.
We have
GWT
GWT stepped away for facility drop. We have a couple of supporters
leaving a local DNA sample.
leaving a local DNA sample. We have Truckin' Girl, and we have Richard.
Mud Pig ain't here yet.
Mud Pig's not here yet.
When Mud Pig gets here, I think the rest of us are going to go live so we can have the multi-stream.
Yeah.
I know you're already going. You're
Yeah.
trying to boost your numbers.
So, Rev Kelly, I really appreciate all of your questions. I want to give you a shout out, buddy. You always seem to put thought into your questions, and I appreciate that. So, I want to give you a shout out there, Richard. What's your stream name?
I don't have a stream.
Not a stream name. I'm sorry. Your chat name.
Richard Weber.
Did you hear that? Okay.
So, what do we
Well,
do?
I've got 30%. My battery pack is trying to keep up. Did it go off? No. In kind of late, and I am charging 2 devices with it, so I think we're okay on this. Well, we're at 40%. So, If anybody has watched my channel for a while, they know that I say I do not speak for Mike. I do not speak for Brian. I do not speak for Marcus. They speak for themselves. I will not speak for them. So the questions about to Brian, or that's all for them to talk about, not me. Thank you. Thank you.
So we're here to discuss.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think the reason why we're all here is, and we'll elaborate a little bit more here when Mudpig gets here, is to try and figure
Michelle,
out where to go from here.
Right. And that's some good questions, and Rev from here. I think that we all have to do a little bit of coffer resourcing. We gotta be able to put something in the coffer. And Michelle, I'm not at this moment obliged to say where I am, where we are. But suffice it to say that I believe we're at a point where we're safe to talk about those. But
I didn't get any threats. I did not get any threats.
You didn't.
I haven't been live in 2 days.
Yeah.
I have not, because it
Yeah.
was a
Well, the
blackout.
threats weren't via my live, but that's okay.
But I don't call it a. We're on that subject. Lots of people jumped on Mudpig. Safety in numbers. Okay.
There's safety in distance.
We convoyed out of there in safety. The
Yep.
four of us.
Right.
Okay. Because there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that anybody was chasing us, following us, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's always that imminent threat.
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
So we convoyed out of there and we went to a safe distance away, or a
comfortably safe distance away.
Okay.
Comfortably.
Where, just like everybody, they can ping our phones.
They have always known where we are.
Okay.
Um,
but it's one of those, to the average Joe, they're not going to find us.
Right.
If there's a threat.
Right.
Okay.
I don't even know that name.
JC, I never served in the military. I did not. But I support every veteran, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
And I fight for that flag that I fly.
And Dixie Misty, I'm not speaking to what was being said there on camera. I am speaking to personally off camera. And so that's all I'm going to say to that effect. So at this particular point, until things cool down, there's no reason for anybody to know exactly where I am right now. There's no reason.
I'm not saying who might be. I'm just saying that there were very feeling about the place, and
You felt
Tensions were high.
tensions were very high.
you felt that little crawler
For
thing.
72 hours they were high.
Now, I
felt
will.
foreboding for 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will, every person that I was able to say goodbye to last night, including Santa,
Yes, I was
Okay.
there for that.
I gave hugs to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I did
told them
too.
good luck in your endeavors.
In your endeavors, yeah, and whatever you choose. People were telling me, well, I am being told by my creator that I have to do this. I said, well, God bless you, go do it.
Okay.
I never once told somebody not to do it.
Exactly.
I
So-
always said why I wasn't doing it.
So we were told to be out of there by 10.
Yeah.
We packed up our stuff and we got out of there. Okay. And as individuals, we came together and said, well, let's go get away from here, just in case there's that one bad element that got lost in their own thoughts and wanted to do something bad.
Right.
That's why we convoyed out of there.
Boozer 777, that has to do with conversation that's occurring at the time. That's not about what's going on in the chat. The chats are bot driven after they're saved. So that's the way that's why a lot of, and it all depends on, who's being shut down when. But no, actually, I take that back. I talked with Sasnak about that shutdown. He shut it down. YouTube didn't shut it down. He did. So just clarification, and I know that to be true because he said that he did, because when Dr. Lockham-Up was talking, he was concerned that there could be, so he shut it down. And he kept his stream down for, I think, almost a full 24 hours.
Right.
I believe it was. I remember that day well.
And I've learned from other people's mistakes. Whenever I hear somebody get up from an organization or political, I mute mine.
I try to do that too.
Okay.
Yeah. If I don't want to have to privatize, I privatized all my videos. Yeah, I know there's going to be people talking about, oh, that's suspicious. I privatized all my videos this morning and deleted a bunch of stuff off other platforms because I have already been shown snippet videos that were so damn good, it was like somebody was interviewing me, based on compilations being taken from bits of my live streams. Like I was sitting down and having a conversation, and it wasn't what I said at all. So, man, there is some slick software out there, and there are people who know how to use it. To the naked eye, you don't even know that they're basically a bunch of cut and pastes. So, I took away.
You're in Reno.
I am?
Yeah.
Scotty, did you beam me up?
No, the Kenworth has wings. You made it to Reno this morning. Damn, I want some.
Wow.
You know how much money I can make if I can make it across the country in less than 24 hours?
Hey, do you know how much money I could make if I had a semi-truck transporter?
Right?
Okay, Scotty, beam me from here to here. I don't know how I'm going to fudge that log company. I'm at the dock on the West Coast company 20 minutes after I left the dock on the East Coast company. Woo!
I don't plug any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the laugh. We needed that.
No, there was no threats given to anybody in the camper at that time, no. And actually, it was an in passing comment more than it was a direct threat. And I'm not even going to mention what was said, but it was enough to just say there. It goes back to what we talked about with that 2-letter word, if. And so, if there was anything to be said, and if the text messages while rolling out were to be truthful in manner, you give some pause. You have to give some pause to that. You are right, LLK, on that one. So, as you can tell, even from here right now, from this extreme moment right now,
Damn, I got curly hair. Go my sweet bit.
so I'm going to look and see what that was.
It's awesome you guys are here.
So,
Yeah, see, look at that.
I'm thinking we need to get a menu or something from what's up there. That's
RS,
There's guys
I'm not gonna-
that
I'm not
get
gonna
file
go-
things up that brought it up last night.
what
Still had it on last night.
what I'm going to say, RS, on that is we're not laughing about what happened there last night. If anything, if anybody would have been able to see, Blinky, myself, and GWT were the last 3 out of there, and we watched with our own eyes 30, 40 different people, at least 30 or 40 people that were there, dismantling
Yeah.
that entire area, and it was going in cars, it was going in trucks, it was going in, it was everything.
So that 30, 40 people that were there, and Santa was one of those 30, 40 people. So I truly believe that everything that was being disassembled went to the people.
I know it. It went to the
generator, the smoker, the flat tops, all that
yep,
cooking stuff.
all of it. The tents that were the donated foods, every single thing there was taken by the individuals that had left earlier. All right, that's all I'm going to say. That's the people that were there. The last 3 people that were there,
The last 3
trucks, was the 3 of us,
because
and there was a few individuals that I know, and it was heartbreaking, that could not leave until daylight, because
And
like that
I
80
know
that
that.
80-something year old man with the RV that couldn't drive at night. Okay,
Right. What's he gonna do? Right.
and what are we gonna do?
Right.
So
we were told to
if
get
you're
out.
not there, please don't be critical about that,
Right.
Okay.
because we did not cause that. If the purpose of that disconnect had just been followed, everybody that went down to DC, if they wanted to come back for at any point or at any moment to re-energize, recharge, whatever the case may be, it was still there. It was all, the welcome mat was still there. No one was told not to come back. That's what was supposed to happen. And I heard that with my own ears. Thank you. I'm not throwing mud. I gave you fact, period. And Blinky,
And the fact of the matter is, that was Scott's trailer.
yeah,
He was told to get out.
he was told. He was told, you... So, armchair quarterbacking and saying that you know things and you weren't even there. And when a lot of this stuff was happening towards the end, there was not one live stream camera going.
Right.
And so his eyes, my eyes, and Tom's eyes, and your eyes all saw what was happening, okay? So for people to say I'm throwing mud, have I said anything incorrect, Blinky?
Nope. Nothing.
In this entire conversation, have I gone against what we saw?
No.
So there you go. So, mods, I'm going to ask you, anybody comes up with something like that again, no
Flight
timeouts.
control.
No timeouts. Get rid of them. So, all right. Ha. You don't know how good it is to hear from you in here, brother.
Who? Who are you talking
Hang on.
to? Oh.
And I said I wasn't there. I said I was not there, and I was going totally off of what I heard.
Yeah.
That's it.
And all I said was, I cannot confirm it.
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
To bring snacks?
Well, we got one of the best buffets in the world right up the road. Maple.
Maple, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes up the road.
Right?
Yeah.
I love my car.
Yeah, Shady Maple's an Amish buffet, and it's about
Oh,
100
if it's
yards
Amish,
long,
it's gotta be
not long,
good.
the size of a football.
I have no idea. I've already made that statement that I have no idea. I was not there. Okay? All I made was the comment that someone said that that's what was said. I never said that I heard it said. Okay? I never did. Thank you, Leonard. Would you say hi?
Would I say hi? I'm gonna bump
Come on,
this
let's see if he
screen.
uses my
Where
line.
you're filming at. Here we go. Hey.
Yes. So, yeah. So it's not one of those clipped videos, it is the one, the only mud pig.
Okay, so with him standing right here. So
Yep. This is the kind of stuff that.
Yeah, but I were. So it's theirs trailer now, you know?
It's cute.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. So. I think that you know, we've been listening to a lot of the trolls here this morning. A lot of the individuals.
we froze when froze when Big D's trailer got
So
me.
there's not, there's that.
You broke
Did we
it.
get knocked down?
Huh?
You broke it.
I broke the string? Nah, it's working.
No, it said that we froze when Blinky was talking. Big D's trailer went with all
There
the
it
dry
comes.
goods to bleed Big D and Santa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he requested his trailer. I made sure it made it there.
It'd be hard to pull out with a fire.
All right, Rev. Thank you.
Right, it would be hard to pull with a fire truck.
Well, I think that choice is Mud Pigs to be standing here with us.
What?
There's a comment in here that says that I love Mud Pig, do not understand at all why he's standing with these men. Okay.
That's just a troll.
I know that. Well, or it's somebody that's
It might be.
confused. It can be a valid, you know, somebody's confused as to, you know.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'll think
Correct
about
me if I'm wrong. You're up here to try and get some direction on which way to go from this point,
Correct.
okay?
They
And
just
you're
don't
here to
see
make
what
up
they
your own
want to
mind.
see.
Correct.
That's why.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
like
it is.
eventually.
There
I'm
are
gonna-
people, you know, thank you, Richard, for that. And I'm sorry to
Oh, I
interrupt
was
you.
This is our soap opera. As the
This
wheels turn.
is
Twilight
As the
Zone.
wheels
This
turn.
is what people, and this is where I was going to go with that. This is what some people tune into to do. Because instead of turning on the TV and watching the soap opera for the day, they tune in to the streams, and they and whatever they do they eat popcorn? I don't know when they're watching their you know, General Hospital or whatever. They're putting this on their big screen and saying, "Would you quit squeaking?"
He's breaking the seat. Someone find some WD-40 here. We need to get a problem.
PB Blaster looks better.
Yeah, PB Blaster. There we go.
Yeah. So, in any case, my battery is going to die. Is a wonderful thing. Thank you for bringing this up this morning there, Blinky, too. Or we probably bring up.
I want to do discussions online. I don't want to hide behind
No, and I
cameras
agree.
off.
No,
Okay.
cameras on.
We've
I'm
been
just.
black for 2 days. I want to go.
Yeah,
live.
I think you're right.
In
I
all
just
our
got to find a
discussions.
way to get some big juice
Some
because I'm
juice.
getting down to
Well, you
25.
got a plug right there. You know, you need
I'm
to-
right here.
I don't have a cord long enough to reach, and I don't have
There's
any.
some
I'm trying to think if I get.
I've got like 2 or 3.
Do you? Because I've got a Type C and a Lightning.
I have a short type C.
I'm down to
Okay.
16%. No, actually, I got.
16%.
It's a type C.
Okay. Because
I can bring
yeah,
that- I
because
can
we
bring
can
that
do
up.
that. If I can get some juice,
All right.
because I'm losing more
And you
juice
can
than
go
I'm putting back in.
So
That's not a
all
fast
right.
charger
So
then.
while we're
Oh,
still
it
on this
is,
live,
but-
do we all want to pile in vehicles and go over to this buffet and invade them, or do we want to just eat something here?
I mean, if we pile in with a group like this, they might even give us a private room. They have some private rooms.
I
over
mean,
there.
we've got at least 3 vehicles here,
I have
and
to
if
walk
need
the
be, I
dog
can
first.
unload the car. I just don't want to work up a sweat again.
Yeah, we have someone we can empty
No
out the back
offense,
seat, too.
but I was sweating like a stuffed pig last night.
Hey.
Okay. It was warm, and
Yeah.
so what do we want to do?
I mean, if y'all are hungry, like I said, it's good food, Amish cooking.
Well, it's 3:30.
How far is it?
Maybe
10 minutes down the
15
road.
minutes up the road. It's right back in
It's
the
in
next
New
town.
Holland, right? New Holland?
Not sure. Oh, my
Oh.
GPS is still running, wasting battery.
What?
Probably a meatball.
Oh, yeah.
No, I went by it on the way here.
Well, you know, you weren't following Ron in, so you weren't lost.
Never would have got
3 minutes away.
down.
It's actually in this town.
I did it the easy way when we
Yeah,
got
a
here.
giant
I
building
said,
is
"Let's
the
take a pin
buffet."
drop."
Well, he did that to me too, but I had to look at my map because it got all backwards.
Yeah, it's in this town. So we just got a little. Size of that building. It's a whole complex though,
So,
but
you were just out of the truck,
Oh, it's right there.
right? Did it sound like
Right there.
Did it sound like my truck was still
yeah, it is
regenerating?
right there. I can see it from here.
It's walking distance.
Not in this heat.
No wonder I couldn't find it.
It was too
Sitting
close.
on top of
I was
it.
literally sitting there
Looking at
flooding it with exhaust fumes.
Did my truck sound like it was still doing a regen?
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
No,
It is funny.
Basically,
So,
I shut
look,
the truck off
I
when
think-
I was talking
I
to
think
you,
that,
and when I fired it back up, I put it into a park regen and it instantly took. But the couple times I've been out there, it was still doing
Yeah,
a
about
regen. I had to go for 3 hours.
24,000 reviews.
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things about it. And so it was like I thought it was over on that road over
When
there.
I was right around here somewhere, it's like I remember all these roads coming in. Just had
Yeah.
to drive from over.
What do you think? What?
How do I pronounce?
Take a minute to regroup, charge up, and then we wait to discuss.
Yeah.
What?
But I don't want to get over there too late because it is Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to start soon.
And you
So
know,
it's 3:30. I'm thinking, if we're over there in the next 45 minutes, right?
Yeah, try to beat the lunch or dinner rush.
The dinner rush.
It's probably 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so in the next 45 minutes, I think that would be a good thing, right? And then we can kind of hash out, what it is that we think we all want to do, or not do,
and take suggestions.
and take suggestions from our stream, right?
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds
So-
good to me.
Sounds pretty democratic. Pretty democratic to me.
All right.
Not
so,
Democrat. Democratic.
So I'm sitting here looking at
Just
mods
saying.
that I have, and mods that you have, and mods that you have. You guys are gonna have your hands full.
So I'm gonna charge my phone.
Okay.
Oh my God! I didn't even think about that.
What?
All of us use the same.
We're
mods.
using the same mods,
100% so. Yeah.
but that's going to be. I mean, you think about it. We have 4 streams going. They're all going.
Five.
Five. I'm gonna have to make.
You guys want to get in on the whack controls?
Oh, I love whacking.
Just
There you go. There you go. Another mod, Rob.
All right.
There we go.
right now, just tell us any negative comments will be deleted.
Well,
You can address
when
them.
we fire it up, okay.
Yeah.
When we fire it up, basically we're gonna say you guys start acting like trolls. We're gonna treat you like trolls.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, the piglets are voting.
Go ahead and expose yourself. Just like, hey,
Piglets vote.
You want to know what's good about this whole
Amish
thing?
buffet.
I got to see who everybody expose themselves.
ARs. I vote ARs.
So you know what? I don't think this break is so much for us. as it is for our mods.
They've been busy.
Control.
So,
Who was
guys,
it that broke
we're
out
you
the
know,
alcohol? Was
yeah,
that
all
Anna
kidding
that broke
aside,
That was Anna.
Yeah.
all laughing aside,
That was hilarious.
every moment that goes by, there is a place in our heart for those whose hearts were broken last night. Okay,
And
so
supported the movement.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
So, and so it's under the pretense of if you can't laugh, you're only going to cry.
And laughter is the best medicine.
So, hey Zach. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I got a troll. I missed it. Hold on.
Someone else got it.
Oh yeah, someone else got it first.
I'm telling you, they broke out the
That was like boom, Kimberly. You were right on that one. I think Kimberly must have 6 monitors going.
I know, because she's on mine too.
That's what I
So,
was getting at. Well, I'm going to single Kimberly out.
Yeah.
She does mine. She does.
she's on Fry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, folks.
She's laughing. She just said me laughing.
She just. All right, guys. We'll be back in a little bit. We're gonna let some things charge up,
Let some things
Love you all.
charge up.
and then we will.
All
We're
gonna
gonna
go live on our own channels, so we can take questions from everybody.
Yeah.
And be easier than.
We're gonna see if we can get a room because I know that there's people in the restaurant that don't want cameras around them while they're eating.
And the biggest thing is.
So we'll make a phone
do
call.
they have
You wanna do
elevator
that?
music
I can try.
in the background?
Amish restaurant.
Yeah, and do they have something that's quiet without music playing? Thank you.
All right, you guys, we'll see you.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a
Love
bit.
ya.
All right.
Hi, Mom.